Yo, what's good, Blackish fam? It's your boy B. We're gonna be checking out some more Ciroc. I'm a fan, right? Somebody in the comment section put me on Ciroc featuring Black Thought. It's called the Black Renaissance, I believe. And that man, she is so lyrical, and she's not lyrical like Missy Elliott lyrical, right? Shout out to Missy Elliott. You did your thing yesteryear, but she might be. Call me, I'm a kid, need to share my chocha. Na 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 dan. That is just rhyming bar line after line, but there's not a lot of substance, right? Man, this chick Ciroc has been what she spits. It's not just a story, but it's intelligent. It reminds me of Black Thought, right? Black Thought really tests your knowledge. And, I'm one of those people, and I tell my teenagers all the time, like, if you don't know what it is, Google it. Then and there. Stop and Google it, because I want to know what the true meaning is, and you'll remember it that way. That's the way you learn new things. So I always tell the kids when they ask me something, I'm like, your phone, you can use it for a lot more than just GTA and Fortnite, right? You just type in what we're talking about, and you can get the explanation. Black Thought is one of those people that he pushes that, because if you don't understand his reference, you're not going to understand some of the other lyrics in the song, right? The context. And man, I love that, because I'm kind of a trivia dude. I've been blessed with a good memory, and it's always helped me with education. But it's sick when I can go through these lyrics and I understand the true meaning, and I'm like, that is so sick. It makes me appreciate their work that much more. Without further ado, we're gonna get right to Ciroc. This is her freestyle on I-95. If I had a few people in the comment section like, you got to check out this freestyle. So I'm excited to get with it. There's no lyrics for this being a freestyle. Got the captions on, but we're just going to break it down old school and get right to it, right? Let's get it. And I got it already forwarded. She kind of goes over, I like what they're doing there. He's got a little tagline, skills over politics. Really that it's not who you know that can get you onto his show, right? It's your skill. You might have a manager or somebody in the game they could put you on. He said, not here. I'm here and choosing people that we can give them this platform. Without further ado, let's check this out, man.
Yeah. Zara. I-95.
Have I been saying it wrong?
They say a rose by any other name instead of rose, and its sturdiest can reach to the granite from which it grows. Then I suppose that I'm destined to shock the globe, and that electrifying youth that describe me as apropos. I'm a and its sturdiest can reach to the granite from which it grows. Then I suppose.
She said a rose, but despite what you call her, it's still a rose, right? You're not changing who that person is with your name calling. And I don't know if that's she's just you're putting that knowledge out there, or she's defending herself almost like, people call me out my name, but it doesn't bother me, right? It's just words. I'm still a rose regardless of you if you see it or not, right? Sick.
They say a rose by any other name instead of rose, and its sturdiest can reach to the granite from which it grows. Then I suppose that I'm destined to shock the globe, and that electrifying youth that describe me as apropos. I'm a child of chocolate city, berry era, where they might have shot you, left you shimmering in your mirror never. And where them conga drums is rooted and got name from a terror, gentrified, strong youth to be the freaking agapelli. Listen, the whole world tried to tell me what I wasn't, but not enough push me to extraordinary budget.
The whole world try to tell me what I wasn't. Think about that, right? I've had that my whole life, right? As somebody who struggles being biracial, and I hear a lot of people, all my black friends and stuff, right? They'll be like, B, you're lucky, bro, because you're black, but you look yellow, right? And I'm like, yeah, but think about that. When you're a kid, the whole world tries to tell you what you are. And it's odd, right? You have to deal with that, right? Sometimes, especially when you're a kid, it's like you're too yellow to be black, but you're too black to be white, and you don't speak Spanish, and I'm like 6'2", so I couldn't really chill with the Mexican kids, even though my dad was Mexican. I didn't really mess with them, but it's a weird position. But think about that. The whole world tells you who you are and what you are, and if you follow these trends, you're just giving into that, right? When she say here, let me just run it back a second.
Gentrified, trying you to be the friggin' agapelli. Listen, the whole world tried to tell me what I wasn't, but not enough push me to extraordinary budget. Try to exchange this currency to a language you can stomach. Show this eagle eye view from every angle of my stomach. Got my
right, the eagle eye view. When you think about that, eagle is typically perched up, right? They're normally an eagle eye view is like a position from on top, looking down, so you can see the bigger picture. That's sick with it. Let me just run it back. Yo, she's saying so much here, and with her flow, and I'm not as young as I used to be, so I'm trying to pick out what I can here.
Currency to a language you can stomach.
I like what she's saying though about exchanging currency to a language you can stomach. It's a quote that we use often on this channel, right? I say sometimes you have to do what you have to do what you want to do, right? We do a lot of Toby Nwigwe on this station. And he has a really good, he says, I want to be where education meets entertainment. And we confuse those two, but I need the platform, right? So sometimes you have to talk that talk and move, walk that walk so you can build your platform so that you can communicate with the masses, right? Think about someone like Kanye West. People wouldn't care what he had to say if he wasn't Kanye West. But now that he has this platform, he's in a position of power. But sometimes you need to be bilingual, and I ain't talking about Spanish, English. You need to be able to be relatable to the masses, right? This is just sick with it. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. But she is just so she's so incredibly knowledgeable. You can tell she wants to say so much, and it kind of is weird because I'm not trying to hit on her or anything. I'm a ticket man. But she's a beautiful chick, right? It's like you just don't expect it right away. And it's like, she's got a little platform right here.
We're gonna get right to these bars, man. Skills over politics. That means
she's like, I'm about to kill it again. Let me crack the neck.
Yeah.
Ready. Stay ready, right?
Bars on I-95.
Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready.
They say a rose by any other name is still a rose, and the sturdiest can reach to the granite from which it grows. Then I suppose that I'm destined to.
I like what she said too about something about it's sturdier if it comes from granite, right? You don't think of a rose coming from anything but the dirt, but maybe if it comes from hard times, it's sturdier, right? It's built for tough times. I don't know if I caught that right because I'm only getting parts of what she's saying, but.
Listen.
She's one of those people we can keep rewinding, and every time we hear something different, like, did she mean that? This is a woman who's been in the game for a minute that is sick with it and intelligent. I'm pretty sure if we caught that, she meant that, right?
They say a rose by any other name is still a rose, and the sturdiest can reach to the granite from which it grows. Then I suppose that I'm destined to shock the globe, and that electrifying youth that describe me as apropos. I'm a shot of chocolate city, berry error. But they might have shot you, left you shimmering in mirror never. And when them conga drums is rooted and got nigga from a terror, gentrified, strong youth to be the friggin' agapelli. Listen, the whole world tried to tell me what I wasn't, but not enough push me to extraordinary budget. Try to exchange this currency to a language you can stomach. Show this eagle eye view from every angle of my stomach. Got my formal education from my bloodline, that's Ivy. Came up in the heart of cocaine 80s, bro, no IDs. Life was mostly bitter, but a little bit of.
She says she came up on those hard times in the 80s, right? So she's probably someone in her 40s now, I would think. But, listen to what she said there. When you normally think of an Ivy League education, that's a high-end education, right? That's a more formal education. But she's saying, I don't know if the reference to her, if her name is Ivy or Ivory, or if she's pointing to the color of her skin. But she said, this is my Ivy education. But like an IV, right? Like an IV going into your blood. Like, the education, my formal education is in my blood. It's my bloodline. It's who I am. This is Ivy League. Sick with it, bro. Sick with it. There's so much behind just saying that, right? It's like, I understand who I am, right? I know I wasn't just a slave 400 years ago. I know about the culture and the history. A lot of people stop and they think, Africa was just this place with elephants and people wrestling hyenas and like, Do you know that, Mansa Musa, we reference him a lot on the station. You'll hear Blocked Out reference him. Do you know that he was the richest person in the world? Some estimate his fortune. It's really hard to quantify, but some say it was $500 billion. Back in that day, they say this man built a mosque every Friday, right? That's so sick with it. This man built universities and libraries, and people would travel to Timbuktu, where they had the most extensive library in the world. And this is an area, and this is a time when European civilization wasn't doing too well in the world, right? A lot of people were going to Africa for information and knowledge, bro. If you know about who you are and where you come from, and you know you're just not some descendant of a slave, man, it's so important that, she said, that's my Ivy League education. Bro, it means so much, right?
The extraordinary budget, trying to exchange his currency to a language you can stomach. Show this eagle-eye view from every angle of my stomach. Got my formal education from my bloodline, that's Ivy. Came up in
Let's run that back, make sure we're not missing anything here.
view from every angle of my stomach. Got my formal education from my bloodline, that's Ivy. Came up in the heart of cocaine 80s, but no IDs. Life was mostly bitter with a little bit of sweet. I had to concentrate to get all of this juice. Yes, that's icy. See, they can never.
Ooh. She said,
The cocaine 80s, bro, no IDs. Life was mostly bitter.
did she say no ID or no idea, right? Because sometimes your parents do such a good job of guarding you that you don't even know the situation you're in, right? Shout out to my mom, because there were times that, we grew up pretty poor in Chicago, inner city Chicago, and I had no idea we were poor. But I also wasn't exposed to a lot of just garbage out there. Because my mom sheltered me for as best as she could, right? She said, I grew up in cocaine 80s. And I think she said, but no ID. But I don't know how that would make sense. But it says here, no idea. So she might just not have known. But I like what she says here. Life was mostly bitter and a little bit of sweet, right? But life is good. But man, it can be a harsh reality, man. There's always some drama, man. When you're a person of color and you're from the hood, there's always something. You think you're getting ahead, you take 3 steps forward, but you got to take 2 steps back. It's a cycle, right? You think about how it's a cycle to keep you. There's predatory lenders. There's currency exchanges on every block, right? They don't want you investing your money in banks. They want you cashing your check, right, at a currency exchange. Now, there has excessive fees, right? They don't want you going to the state of Illinois to register your vehicle. You're paying above and beyond more than you should because of the position of poverty that you're in, right? They're not using a debit card. People in the hood are getting these prepaid debit cards that charge you $1 or $2 every time you add money or you use the card. Think about that. If you're whining about a transaction fee or something, but think about there's people that pay $1 every time they use their debit card. What's the percentage being taxed on that? You might ask, well, why the hell are they using a rush card or whatever? Man, some people have burnt bank accounts. They got bad credit, right? There's a variety of different things, but there's a cycle, and the people that need the most help are also they're preyed on by predatory lending practices, right? People that prey on them because they know the position that they're in, right? Buy here, pay here, right? You get taxes and you start seeing these signs. We own the finance company. How much you got, right? What are you guys working with? And then they try to bash you. And then whatever you got is going to be the equivalent to the down payment. You'll always owe something. And if you ain't got it today, and then car sales, there's a saying in sales in general, it's better to be owed something and not get it than to receive nothing at all, ever, right? It's better at least that, you only got $3,000 on you? I'll give you the $7,000 car, but really, I'd want $3,500 down. Do you think when you get paid next, you can bring this additional $500? Yeah, because you're thirsty to get a car. You're in a predicament. You can't lose your job, right? So now they not only got your $3,000, but they got another $5 coming. And guess what? If you don't pay, it don't really matter. It wasn't part of the deal anyway. It's $500 bonus, right? They might split that up and buy lunch. You don't know. But you're always in a position of owing, and you're normally not in a position to fight it. You don't have legal representation. What are you going to do? You going to sue me, or are you going to leave a Google review? Right? Come on now.
With a little bit of sweet, I had to concentrate to get all of this juice. Yes, it's icy. See, they
I got to concentrate to get all this juice. Yeah, it's high C, right? Like high C juice, right?
can never break my resolve, homie. I meant that. The silver baby, goat status destined through my ascendant. I tend to keep a check of some crystal.
She said she's a December baby, right? Goat status, greatest of all time. And she said, she's the same month as her descendants, right? I don't know if she's Christian or whatnot, but I think of Jesus Christ, right? And his birthday supposedly being in December, maybe not December 25th, but being in December.
Get all of this juice, yes, it's icy. See, they can never break my resolve, homie. I meant that. The silver baby, goat status destined through my ascendant. I tend to keep a check of some crystal on my pendulum. Listen, sonny, I'm landing these hits will maximum impact. Yeah, you see it, it's big uterus energy. The one that's trying to play me the prick.
Big uterus energy, right? Big mama, this is coming from a chick.
Usually enemy, cause they intimidated, cause it's stupidly gifted. And if you out of order, I show you the sheer brute of my issue. Game still worried about my fruit of the loom, but this that motherland talking, y'all the fruit of my womb.
Yo, this is what she's saying, right? She said, y'all so worried, I don't know what the game, that y'all worried about my panties, right? You're worried about my underwear, my fruit of the loom. But yo, she said, this is motherland. This is the fruit of my womb. My womb, right? Like giving birth, right? The kid is in your womb. Yo, just sick with it.
Show you the sheer brute of my issue. Game still worried about my fruit of the loom, but this that motherland talking, y'all the fruit of my womb. Try me in to make
son in them, right?
The work and tubman through every tune till every black butterfly live and flew the cocoon. The guy ain't got a lot of time for the.
Well, every black butterfly flew the cocoon, right? A cocoon goes through a transitional process, and at the cocoon. It's about the transition turning into a butterfly.
The slicks and fast talk. I'm trying to build another Wall Street from the asphalt. You looking for the leader of the pack, then go ahead.
She said, I'm trying to build another Wall Street through this asphalt, right? But talking about the wall, Black Wall Street, for those who don't know, there was a time that black people were doing great in this country. And you might not have heard of it because it's not always taught in school. Just really quick, I want to reference this because I think it's important to the context of what she's saying. For those of you that don't know what Black Wall Street is, make sure to like the video, but subscribe to the page. We'll do a separate video breaking down what Black Wall Street meant and what it is and why you're not taught about it in school. But basically in 1921, there's what's called the Greenwood District in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was known as Black Wall Street. It was one of the most prosperous African American communities in the United States. But on May 31st of that year, early 1920, I believe 1921, this local paper called the Tulsa Tribune reported that a black man, he was named Dick Rowland, no pun intended on the Dick name, right? But he attempted to rape a white woman. You know, it kind of makes you think of Emmett Till all over again, right? But whites in the area, they refused to wait for him to have his due process, right? For it to go to court and investigative process to play out. But there was a ton of racial violence, black on white. The 35 city blocks went up in flames. 300 people died. 800 people were injured. There's still supposedly a mound of black people buried throughout Tulsa. And the thing about this is the police and stuff did nothing. There were just a bunch of people that were victims of this race riot that just never came home, right? There's just still people unaccounted for that were unfortunately part of this unfortunate movement. But Black Wall Street was a place where black business was thriving. People were doing well. They were wearing nice stuff, driving good, taking care of their community. You got to think about that. Who benefits from destroying that? And what did that really do? Think about all the families that lost out on generational wealth that they were entitled to if wouldn't have happened. Think about the businesses, right? You think of companies like Walmart, right, that just start off as small businesses, but then they grow into something massive. Who's to say what any of these black businesses would have grown into had they not been destroyed and never rebuilt, right? And really, we don't talk about it. They barely talk about this in Tulsa. It's something that really was just swept under the rug. It's just ugly U.S. history that we don't talk about. And, that's what this channel is for. Modern day griots, right? We want to pass down information so that we don't make the same mistakes of the last generation. So I just wanted to reference that. Man, don't forget to subscribe to the station, not just if you're a fan of Ciroc and good music, but if you're a fan of black history, black culture, and you want to know who you are and where you come from as a person of color, let's get it. Run this back a little bit. She got a 3-minute freestyle, but we got a 30-minute breakdown. What she said? She said, all my dogs are apexes? Referring to, and you heard Black Thought reference this in his Funk Master Flex freestyle. He says, I'm an apex predator, right? I'm an brim stay fresh feathered, blah, blah. But an apex predator is known as like an alpha predator, right? It's a top predator. He's normally the top of the food chain, right? There's nobody preying on him. He's normally the top of the line. If she's saying I'm an apex, she's saying like, I'm over here on top of the game, right? I'm the one out here destroying and preying on other people, not the other way around.
Right. Try me in to make the work of toughness through every tune till every black butterfly live and flew the cocoon. The guy ain't got a lot of time for the slicks and fake.
Flew the cocoon though, not just the transition to a butterfly, but leaving home, right? Everyone flew the cocoon.
I'm trying to build another Wall Street from the asphalt. You looking for the leader of the pack, then go ahead start on my daughters, apexes. Y'all the industry mascots. If I drop something, you know that it's gonna be the shit. Go rap and scoop it up my beers and get in the bag with my shit. This is certified again.
Say, if I drop it, you don't gotta do a reaction or anything. You just know it's the shit, right? She over there scooping it up, bro. You gotta pick up this shit.
Go rap and scoop it up my beers and get in the bag with my shit. This is certified organic. Never recreate the weird and all them hours.
So is this, if you're leaving shit on the floor, that's also considered organic fertilizer. But she's also organic, right? Her hype, her movement is organic. She's not relying on mainstream media and record companies. So she's has an organic following. Bro.
My shit, this is certified organic. Never recreate the weird and all them hours in the lab. Gonna do is heavy, won't sit. Whoa, I know that must sound cocky.
She said, hours in the lab, right? You think of Dr. Dre, Eminem, they always talk about getting back to the lab, right? Dr. Dre making beats, right, or whatnot. And she said, if I'm in the lab, you just know it's sick, right?
My shit, this is certified organic. Never recreate the weird and all them hours in the lab. Gonna do is heavy, won't sit. Whoa, I know that must sound cocky, but I rock the rap like a little bit of tumbling out of the ground coffee. Got a full grasp, but it's Queen's English. You won't sit. Whoa, I know that must sound cocky, but I rock the rap like a little bit of tumbling out of the ground coffee. Got a full grasp, but it's Queen's English. When I tongue loose, I hit the roof and make that ever sound cockney. Call me Shockley.
Run that back a few seconds here.
I know that must sound cocky, but I rock the rap like a little bit of tumbling out of the ground coffee.
Okay, she's saying she's turbo, right? Like coffee, like ground coffee, get you energized, right?
Got a full grasp, but it's Queen's English. When I tongue loose, I hit the roof and make that ever sound cockney. Call me Shockley. Public enemy don't have your property, cause I'm a product of this rap and aristocracy. So they trail me in the internet store because I'm exercising demons with this drip Mephistopheles. Me and Soul Messiah ain't come to play by your rules. We finna every property, cause I'm a product of this rap and aristocracy. So they trail me in the internet store.
Play on here is sick, and man, I can hang with some of the best of them when it comes to breaking down lyrics. And she is very intelligent, and she's referencing things that you just don't use in common everyday language, right? Like she says an aristocrat, right? And you're like, okay, I remember the cartoon where you're going back, like, okay, aristocrat, that's like a person, it's normally somebody who considers himself elite, right? That's an aristocrat. But she also talks about Queen's English. And that would be like that play, but she did it a few sentences before, and I'm over here thinking like, okay, the Queen's English, does she mean the Oxford English, right? I'm thinking about it from an educational standpoint, right? And yo, she's just saying so much. There's so many different meanings, but sometimes the bars are there's a few bars in between. It's just, man, the writing is sick with it. I'm pretty sure this isn't just off the top of the dome. This is something that she wrote for this. And I think Old Boy's face summarizes how I feel right now. Like, damn, this chick is killing it. Just killing it. And man, you got to stop and think. And, you know, a lot of times you hear people saying this, right? I've seen this over the years. There were people like Eve and Gwen Stefani and Fergie from Black Eyed Peas, right? Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. When people talk about a female rapper, they always compare her. It's always in relation to being a woman. It's like, yo, she's good for a chick, right? She's good for being someone that's cute. She's decent for someone. Bro, you can't put her in this category because I'd like to challenge you. Outside of Mos Def, you know, Talib Kweli, someone of that caliber, right? Or Black Thought. Yo, I don't know that there's a lot of guys that can not just flow with her at this level, but I don't think there's a lot of rappers that honestly would even understand half of the stuff that she's saying. Some of her references are like to the Hebrew Bible and to calendars and things that you might pick up through a formal education. But man, it's very hard to reference. Yo, this chick is next level with it, man. Not just a chick, but yo, look at his, like I said, that should be the cover of this video. Like, yo, this chick is just killing this, bro. I don't know if dudes can flow with this, man. You know.
With this drip Mephistopheles, me and so Messiah ain't come to play by your rules. We finna leave these cheap.
You know, what did she say? Lose your Messiah and come and play by my rules? Like, yo, is that what she's saying? Yo, that's very ballsy, right? She said it right when she said it comes off as cocky. But yo, I wonder where she comes from in her breakdown, because sometimes that plays a part. I remember when I was watching Toby Nwigwe and I was watching him and Fat, and they're talking about their relationship, and I was with my wife, and she's like, yo, he comes off as a prick. He's arrogant. And I'm like, you know, I don't know. It could be because they're obviously very playful. Kind of reminds me of Simba, you know, in The Lion King with Nala, right? When they're kind of roughing each other around. And I had some people in the comments, and they're like, yo, no, that's that. There's this like Nigerian confidence. It comes off as arrogance, but, you know, and for someone I have a sales background, a marketing background, as well as, you know, a few other things, but I had a marketing company for over a decade. And I understand that when you're dealing with different types of people, they interact with you differently, right? It's very different when you're dealing with someone who's Chinese or Indian in the way that they negotiate the price, or things are more comfortable for them. Where in American people, they come off as different. Sometimes it's almost insulting if you ask for a discount, but in some parts of the world, that's just how they do business, right? And that's how I think Toby Nwigwe comes off. And yo, there's a little arrogance to her too, but yo, she's backing that up, right, with her skill. But there's definitely some cockiness there. I don't want to say a manliness, because she's very feminine and she's very pretty and put together. But yo, when she starts spitting, it's like, yo, I could see another side, a more aggressive side of her. So I'm just curious to learn more about her background. If you know, feel free to leave it in the comments.
Exercising demons with this drip Mephistopheles. Me and so Messiah ain't come to play by your rules.
Stopping this, but I want to do some justice to the bars that she's putting out here. I got some notes here, and she said, I know this must sound cocky, right? And she said, but Ciroc to rap like a little bit of turbinado to ground coffee. You know, and I keep thinking of, what is it, Diggable Planets? We be to rap what Kibi to lock, right? And I'm like, okay, well, what's turbinado? That's like a sugar alternative, right? It's a more natural sugar. So she's saying she's kind of like a little bit of turbinado to ground coffee. Okay. And then, yo, she just loses her mind. And again, I could break it down with the best of them. I really do think this is going over most people's heads. Because she said, I got a full grasp of this Queen's English. And again, I think of Oxford English, right? she's talking about how eloquent she speaks and her education, right? But she said when her tongue's loose, right? I think she said that, either that or tooth. But it makes more sense that when my tongue's loose, I hit the booth and make that heifer sound cocky. She would be the heifer, right? It's kind of like calling myself a bitch or something, right? Yeah, look at these heifers, right? So I think he's out. She's saying like, "Yo, you know, it makes me sound cocky when I'm loose with the lips, right?" And she said, "Call me Shockley." I believe she said "public enemy," right, on every property. It's like, ooh, that's sick with it. And she said, "I'm a product of this rebel and I don't know if it was aristocrat or there was a play on that word, but yo, she's a rebel, right? I'm a product of this rebel aristocrat or aristocracy, right? Or I don't know there might have been a little play on words there, but I believe that's what she's saying. And she said that like, yo, and you guys are following me, right? You're like stalking me, I think she said, because I'm exercising demons with this drip. And I didn't quite get the last part. She said, Mephistopheles. I just want to hear that part again. I think it actually throws you off more when you got closed caption, because let's be honest, closed captions are not lyrics, right? It's like Google Translate almost, and it's like there's so much urban and plays on words that it's not exact. I should just turn this off.
Exercising demons with this drip, Mephistopheles. Me and so excited.
Yo, that's definitely going over most people's heads. That's a German word for demon, right? So it would go with the exercising demons with this drip, right? I'm pretty sure she's using the word, it's either the German word for demon or it means something like demonic.
Come to play by your rules. We finna leave this rapping aristocracy. So they trail me in the internet stalk because I'm exercising demons with this drip, Mephistopheles. Me and so Messiah ain't come to play by your rules. We finna leave these cheesy dudes chops living in screw. This is prophecy, the path is a lot bigger than you. So I'ma keep stirring the pot to the plot, thick as and bruised, cause a lot of critics wanna.
You know, you think of a witch, right? What does she have? A cauldron, and she's just stirring the pot, and a little bit of virgin's blood, and some sage, and some adobo, right? But she said, "Yo, I'm gonna quit stirring this pot until it thickens," right?
Leave my name out of the bigger than you, so I'ma keep stirring the pot to the plot, thick as and bruised, cause a lot of critics wanna leave my name out of the best running, but I'll never take the same route. Twice and they can't figure out my patterns or routine. I just might be Jackie Jordan, making laps around your team, bro. My tactics are machine. I'm gonna give them hell just for the hobby of think you measure.
Oh, and her and Black Dot, man, I would love to see them at a Black History trivia night. Man, you would hear what she just said. She said, I'm running laps around you, something to that effect. And then she said Jackie Joyner. And, I'm like, who is Jackie Joyner, right? That's, I don't know how long ago, but years ago, Sports Illustrated said that Jackie Joyner, she was the greatest female athlete of all time. Jackie Joyner, she was like a track and field athlete. Man, just sick, just to understand that reference. And this is an older chick, right? This is a chick that's born in the early 60s, if I'm not mistaken, with Jackie Joyner. That's just sick that she's able to reference things like this. Because Jackie Joyner now is a philanthropist, right? She's involved with not just education, but she's actually fights for racial equality and women's rights. So it would make sense that she references her here. But again, I stopped to think like, yo, who's listening to bars on I-95 that understands that reference, right? Man, sick with it.
This the bring the heat through the loud, beloved. Future matriarch, drop a bar.
Yo, what I miss? She's on another flow.
Think you measure up to. Me and so Messiah ain't come to play by your rules. We finna leave these cheesy dudes chops living in screw. This is prophecy, the path is a lot bigger than you. So I'ma keep stirring the pot to the plot, thick as and bruised, cause a lot of critics wanna leave my name out of the best running, but I'll never take the same route.
She said a lot of critics want to leave my name out, right? Like I was just saying, who's flowing like this, guy or girl, right? Why are they leaving her name out? Because she's an independent artist? You scared of how she's gonna make your artist look like? Come on now. Y'all talking about these versus battles, but nobody's throwing her name in the conversation? What gives, bro?
Twice and they can't figure out my patterns or routine. I just might be Jackie Jordan, making laps around your team. Bro, my tactics are extreme. God and Carter give them hell just for the hobby of it. Think you measure up to this degree of heat you do not beloved. Future mates,
think you measure up to this degree of heat? Degree, right? Fahrenheit or Celsius, but also this degree of what she's doing, right? What she's bringing to the table. Let's bring that back.
Heat you do not beloved. Future matriarch, drop a bar and these cheesy dudes chops living in school. This is prophecy. The path is a lot bigger than you, so I'ma keep stirring the pot to the plot.
Ooh, she said, and I caught that. The prophecy is a lot bigger than you, right? This is so much more important than any one person. What?
Is and bruised, cause a lot of critics wanna leave my name out. I'm the best running, but I'll never take the same route. Twice and they can't figure out my patterns or routine. I just might be Jackie Jordan, making laps around your team. Bro, my tactics are extreme.
Bro, his face, look at his face, says it all. Like, damn,
can't figure out my patterns or routine. I just might be Jackie Jordan, making laps around your team. Bro, my tactics are extreme. God and Carter.
My tactics are extreme, right? Tactics are your methods, right? The path that she's taking. She's saying, I'm extreme, right?
I'm hell just for the hobby of it. Think you measure up to this degree of heat you do not beloved. Future matriarch, drop a bar and
future matriarch, right? The female leader of the home, right? The patriarch is on the male side, matriarch is on the woman's side.
God and Carter give them hell just for the hobby of it. Think you measure up to this degree of heat you do not beloved. Future matriarch, drop a bar and elevate the art. You looking for quality, I'm like Abu Dhabi, I got you covered. Flows abundant, keep that pressure on them heavy. G-Force got
so many gems, right? You think of Abu Dhabi. Most people think United Arab Emirates, right? That's or they think of. But Abu Dhabi is actually it's I'm not sure if it's still the richest, but I believe it's the richest city in the world. You might ask yourself why, right? You ever see those where they go to the malls, right, in Abu Dhabi, and these there's all these high-end cars, and they're like just making videos on that alone. These dudes have stupid money. There's only 420,000, 420, see, get it, right? But there's 420 citizens in Abu Dhabi, and they're sitting on the 10th largest oil reserve in the world, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if that's still the case. And they have over $1 trillion invested abroad. What that means is, not including foreign workers, they're worth about $17 million each. So Abu Dhabi has obviously one of the very lavish lifestyle, right? Because the majority of its residents have money, right? Because they're sitting on, they're legit sitting on oil, right? They own it.
I'm like Abu Dhabi, I got you covered. Flows abundant, keep that pressure on them heavy. G-Force got me blacking out on every track. I bury my character rock steady, but characteristics vary. Building go from Lord Shopper Harvest to apothecary. That means ease them off of blood on the spits in this. Got you covered. Flows abundant, keep that pressure on them heavy. G-Force got me blacking out on every track. I bury my character rock steady, but
character rock steady, right? My character, I'm always true to who I am.
Characteristics vary. Building go from Lord Shopper Harvest to apothecary. That means
yo, did she say I went from the shop of horrors to apothecary? Holistic medicine, right? Like natural, or like herbal.
Abu Dhabi, I got you covered. Flows abundant, keep that pressure on them heavy. G-Force got me blacking out on every track. I bury my character rock steady, but characteristics vary. Building go from
she said my character rock steady, right? Like almost like the bebop and rock steady, but not the hip hop rock steady, right? She's talking about like my character is steady as a rock, right? But my characteristics vary, right? Depending on how you catch me, right?
Lord Shopper Harvest to apothecary. That means ease them off of blood on the spits in this medicine. Harvest to apothecary. That means on them heavy. G-Force got me blacking out on every track. I bury my character rock steady, but characteristics vary. Building go from Lord Shopper Harvest to apothecary. That means ease them off of blood on the spits in this medicine. Currently them light years ahead of all you Edisons. I saw more than 2020 with a loud as a
Yo, even he caught that bar.
Building go from Lord Shopper Harvest to apothecary. That means ease them off of blood on dispensing this medicine. Covering them light years ahead of all you Edisons. I saw more than 2020 would allow, cause I'm more I devout and spit out from my jawline. I don't hold my tongue.
Yo, I have to run that back. I couldn't. I don't know if I don't want to overreach. It's very easy when we're breaking down lyrics. Let me put my thinking cap back on. It's very easy when we're breaking down lyrics to sometimes reach for something that might not be there. Because not everyone is thinking in the same way that you are, right? People interpret things differently. Now, I heard her say, I'm light years ahead. Like, are you, she said something like, are you just Edison? Right? And that might just mean a little bar, you're hearing it, and you're like, okay, light years, light, Thomas Edison, okay, nice bar. But yo, I don't know if I'm giving her too much credit. Is she this lyrical, or am I that lyrical? Where I know, if you said, I'm light years ahead, you might ask yourself, or to the younger generation, what is a light year? A light year is the amount of the distance that light travels within it's the distance that light travels in one of our calendar years, right? Which is extremely far. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 6 trillion miles, right? But yeah, she said, I'm light years ahead of you, while you're just Edison. So she could be saying, like, you could be thinking of lights, but you're thinking of Thomas Edison. You're thinking of the light bulb. I'm talking about light years. If I'm light years ahead, you're never catching up with me. Right? Which would make sense. But if, depending on where you're from in the country, she's saying, I'm light years ahead, right? Think about a sexual position, getting head, right? Top, dome, whatever you want to call it. But an Edison is also, it's a term, and I don't want to, Edison is a sexual term as well. Some people say that's Edison when you lick your finger and you're about to go, right? You're sticking it into a woman, right? They call that an Edison, right? It's like the equivalent of putting a light bulb in, where they say stick donut, right? So could she be saying, like, I'm light years ahead, light year reference, but also the head reference, but she's also talking about an Edison, right? Getting an Edison, there's different meanings, right? It could, some meanings, it means like stick a light bulb up your ass, or you can put a light bulb in a chick's ass, and if you're banging her, the friction is enough friction generated to light the light bulb. It's all just kind of urban myths, kind of like the shocker, right? 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, right? All right, I'm showing that I'm a fraternity guy here, but I don't know if she's that lyrical or if I'm reaching for that. But yo, either way, stick with it. Even if she's just referring light years to the lights and connecting Thomas Edison, that's sick.
And also today we got a really special guest with us right now.
Yo.
Harvest to apothecary. That means ease them off of blood on dispensing this medicine. Covering them light years ahead of all you Edisons. I saw more than 2020 would allow, cause I'm more than just a visionary. My insight is great peregrine. Falcon, got the talents dripped on the rhythm and the bounce every. From Lord Shopper Harvest to apothecary. That means ease them off of blood on dispensing this medicine. Covering them light years ahead of all you Edisons. I saw more than 2020 would allow, cause I'm more than just a visionary. My insight is great peregrine. Falcon, got the talents dripped on the rhythm and the bounce every verse that I devour and spit out from my jawline. I don't hold my tongue, I stole my drum. You would allow, cause I'm more than just a visionary. My insight is great peregrine. Falcon, got the talents dripped on the rhythm and the bounce every verse that I devour and spit out from my jawline. I don't hold my tongue, I stole my drum. And when it's up, the moon get busy and I douse them. Went from broke to baroque era, choose God. In the glow sun kiss, character is too good. Wearing bands and happy medals from my fingers, group mark. But to wrap my hands around what I would overdo. Sure. Sorry.
Yo,
What?
Got the beat, DJ Quan.
What?
Please.
Dude, she is not that lyrical.
Yo, listen,
that is
man.
crazy. She
I'm
ain't
telling
even
y'all.
sweating.
The rappers I bring on this shit. This is why
Bro, you look at even Black Thought. After he did that,
I
like
can't just bring
10
anybody up.
10-minute freestyle, this man was starting to sweat under the hat, right? The coat. Yo, she ain't even break a sweat. She's like, yo, we got another beat? We still doing this?
If you think I can bring just anybody up here. After that, you are out of your mind.
Out of your mind.
You have to understand, this is what we do here, man. This is home of the heavy bar spitters. There's a reason why I say that. There's a reason why we handpick.
Bro, is this chick, why is this chick on like LA Leakers, bro? Why am I looking at this and this thing? Does this legit only have 32,000 views? Yo, this girl just killed it. Not just killed it, like she said, she devoured it. Bro, there's not a lot of people, period, that could rap on that level, let alone understand half the things. And I'm sure there were some bars that went over my head. She has a little bit of the accent too. Yo, more power to her. Please leave it in the comments. I can't get to everything, but yo, she brought her A game here. This is that I understood the assignment, right? Like, yo, this chick, I can tell this dude's amazed too. He's like, yo, what'd you think this was? She just like, look how she's looking. She's like, killed him, right? And I put another motherfucker on game. Another motherfucker know about me now. I just learned about this chick legit like a week ago. Man, if you're a fan of good music, yo, this is the altar call, right? Not just Ciroc, but good music in general, intelligent breakdowns, right? I hate listening to a breakdown and somebody's just, he snapped. It's like, yeah, snapped on what, bro? What did he say? Let's put it together. I like hearing other people's reactions. I mean, seeing other people's reactions and breaking down the lyrics. Because let's be honest, when we're just listening to a song, we can hear like the surface level lyrics. Man, if you're a fan of good music and like breaking stuff down, man, don't forget to subscribe. We do this for real here.
Out of your mind. You have to understand, this is what we do here, man. This is home of the heavy bar spitters. There's a reason why I say that. There's a reason why we handpick who we have on this show. It's because they represent the culture of rap. I'm not talking about that new shit y'all here listen to. I'm talking about the true essence of rapping.
Yeah.
This is a pure MC next to me right now. Ciroc, I appreciate you making it down to the show. Woo, I'm actually happy.
Looking forward into checking out some more of her work. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. I got a list of stuff you guys leave in the comments, and I'm like, yo, this is stuff I'm going to get to. But, man, there's some people I just have to constantly revisit that refresh you, recharge you. Like Toby Nwigwe is one of those for me. And, Ciroc is getting there, too. This was actually a difficult breakdown, which is why it's 47 minutes long. I hope you guys appreciate it. I did my best with it. Let me know if I missed anything below. But, yo, this chick is just sick with it.